Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Pixel Perfect Marathon number 2. I hope you are now ready for the next run because coming up is a race of Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, any percent normal level run between DrPrufr0ck and our own co-founder NickRPGreen. So, Plywood here will lead the commentary during the race. So, yeah, take it away.
All right, hi everybody. I'm Plywood, as stated, and I'm an old school runner of Twin Snakes, and I will be primarily commentating this race. The racers themselves will speak from time to time, but we'll be taking a nice ride through Shadow Moses Island with our good old pal Solid Snake in the real remake. None of this fake Delta stuff, the realest remake there's ever been. So you'll notice that Nick is playing on hard mode. He's not cheating, it's just because he's playing the Japanese version and the names of the difficulties are all shifted around. So they are both playing on normal. Just before anyone thinks something is off, very hard is hard and hard is normal and all that. So I think if both of our races are ready, we can get going here in a hot second. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Should I be doing the countdown here?
Probably best, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1, go. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
And they're off. So we're off to a roaring start. It used to be that nothing of interest would happen here and I'd be able to explain things, but I really don't have a whole lot of time to do that because there is a magnificent skip at the start of this run that originated in MGS2 speedrunning from DrPrufr0ck, so it's called Prozac Skip. Basically, they're going to empty their clip and get a magazine as quickly as they can, and this magazine is going to let us phase through the shutters of this elevator by a little flick of the wrist and a spin on the FPV. We can get into the elevator early and completely skip the credit sequence. You're supposed to wait through the credits to be able to ride the elevator, but by doing that we can shift Snake through that shutter and go straight to the helipad. Fantastic. So that will be used again, assuming I know this route pretty well, fairly shortly. So great skip, saves over a minute, if my math is right. I'm going to immediately go and pick up stuff on the heliport for the purposes of later on, and just roll on through this guard.
I was supposed to roll.
Yeah, well, you know, things are supposed to happen all the time in this game, and sometimes they don't happen, and it's something you have to deal with quite a lot when running this game. It can be a pretty intense run. So both players are rapidly switching their weapons, and it's not for show. Snake actually does crawl faster when doing this. It's just an artifact of the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine because this game works within the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, but it's on the GameCube. It's a very weird situation, but trust me, we'll be able to get through this together. We crawl faster by doing that, and it's going to be quite useful in these ventilation sequences, saving a significant amount of time. It's not like you're going ultrasonic speed or anything, but it is faster than crawling on its own. So we're going to head down to B1. We're going to go meet up with the DARPA chief and save him. Both of those statements are lies, but don't mind that. DARPA chief saving him, all that are lies. Don't believe this game for one moment.
Wait, this game lies to you?
This game lies to you constantly. This game's been lying to every runner for a very long time, so we crawl through the ventilation once again, skipping a forced cutscene that they added to this game. This is why this game's a 0 out of 10. They forced cutscenes that weren't in the original, and that really grinds my gears. Okay, so now we get into the cell. Here we are, and supposedly we're supposed to be stuck in here, but we have other plans.
Hopefully.
One way or another, we're going to get out of this cell. And if you've watched the start of this run, you know how we got out of the elevator, into the elevator. We're going to do that again. Now, Nick had to go for a backup. I'm guessing this one is a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to use a chaff.
But this is why we get the backup. Nice setup on the shot. You want to move into a very specific spot to get a very clean setup on these guards if possible. Sadly, Proof didn't quite get that as cleanly, but got his SOCOM ammo, so that's important. You may be noticing a non-sponsor Red Bull coming from Proof's screen. It's because he's up really, really early. I thought I was getting up early. I'm very mistaken. Proof is up extraordinarily early, so please give him a round of applause for being up this early for this Twin Snakes race.
Woo!
So unlike the original where you have to wait for guards to stream in, we can actually shoot them as they go through the hallway, which is awesome. Like, they just get destroyed.
Hide in the bathroom and think about what I've done.
That's always a nice change of pace, especially at work, Meanwhile, Proof is going to inspect.
Just checking on Johnny, making sure he's okay.
It's very, very kind-hearted of you. We didn't do anything to Johnny. It had nothing to do with us. Let's just be clear about that. And we'll be using him later on. Not killing him. Can't do that in this game. But we will be using him. So heading down to B2, we're now going to save President Baker, who works for a freaking military industrial company, but don't worry about that. We're gonna blow this hole in the wall with the C4 well placed to try to save our HP. All these C4 placements are very precise. Unless your name is DrPrufr0ck, he'll just blast his way through. He doesn't care about his life. He did care about Johnny's life, which is very thoughtful. And now we shoot Ocelot in the face in the most climactic battle of this whole game. Three shots.
Greatest gun shooter of the of Russia.
Yeah, he'll talk to you about how great his gun is, and then he gets shot 3 times in the face, and the fight's over. But it's just because he really wants to take a nap, which I'm right there with you, Ocelot. So
Better check the back of the CD case.
yeah, you need to make sure that you know the exact number, and the way to do that is by checking the back of the CD case, or in this case, the mini DVD case, whatever the format of the GameCube is. So we call Meryl, which in the original you couldn't call her here, but you can in this game. It doesn't actually matter if we call her here or in the next room. We just have to make sure we call her ASAP, whatever your version of ASAP is. So we pick up some ammo, head on over to the elevator. Nick had the zoomies. I had to do a lot of commentary there very quickly because the stream just went whoop. And now we are going to do a roll. There are different kinds of rolls here. There's safer rolls and riskier rolls. But we are going to take out the sensors and get into...
Had to play it safe on that last one, but it was okay.
Okay, and now we are going to do the tank fight. And the tank fight is most certainly more difficult in this game compared to the original. It's just more tricky and demanding. In part because we are going to be shooting the gunners, not just throwing grenades into the porthole or whatever at the top of the M1 tank. So everything about this is really orchestrated. Sadly, Nick missed a headshot. The positioning is specific here, the timing on each of the shots. You want to time out those shots, and if you stare at the gunner when in FPV while he's hiding, he'll get shy, which we don't want either. Pick up those chaff grenades, very helpful. And just like that, the lead has changed thanks to a missed headshot in part. But that's okay. Lead can still change pretty dramatically. There's a lot of excitement, as you can hear from my voice, a lot of excitement in Twin Snakes Racing. This is, in my opinion, one of the better race games in the series, just because a lot of things can go wrong or right. Throw a chaff grenade to disrupt all these dudes and their radios. Just run straight at the guy. As long as your timing is in a certain range, that guy at the top of the stairs won't hit you. If you're particularly fast, he could hit you. But never mind that. Go into this room, pick up a couple of things that we're gonna need, and head on down to B2. We're gonna be using the Nikita missile launcher to destroy an electrical generator box. That way we can proceed to meet and save yet another individual, but this time it's different. It will be different. Now you may be wondering what the heck just happened to Nick's Nikita. He just waggled the C-stick so it went all wild, which is just it doesn't change the trajectory at all. It just changes the camera view. Because apparently there was a little man looking around at the missile spinning around. Okay. So there's going to be a very bloody hallway, so if that bothers you, please look away. Actually, there really isn't that much blood on screen if you don't watch the cutscene.
Oh, yeah, okay. With the blood switched off the save frames.
Is it actually save frames? Is that really confirmed? Okay. I was like, man, there's like no blood. Why are they just lifeless dolls? Okay.
I heard it once and I never turned blood back on again. Yeah, the saving frames thing.
Fair enough. So this strategy with the ninja allows us to finish the fight in phase 2. Basically, you get the ninja stuck in a logic loop where you're supposed to attack him twice, but if you shoot in between the attacks, it will restart back to 0 essentially. But you can't defeat the ninja in phase 1, so we're gonna have to go into phase 2. Ideally, you punch with the gun and then you kick with the Nikita. Kicking with the Nikita out increases the damage of the kick, and that will allow us to finish the fight even faster. This is a very mature fight, and what I mean by that is like the strategy is quite mature at this point. At one point or another, years ago, it was in a pretty steady state of flux until this strategy was discovered. And now it's as easy as it's ever really been for anyone to approach. It used to be one of the more tricky fights in the game. Twin Snakes giveth, Twin Snakes taketh away as far as difficulty.
to the longest set of codecs and cutscenes for beating the ninja, which is always nice.
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about our sponsorship, Mario riding Yoshi, who's sitting in the corner of this lab. Yeah, plus 2 points to Nick for shooting Yoshi and Mario. Proof you're gonna have to pick it up on the points realm. If you win this race, of course, then you win all the points. So I guess there is that. But
Consolation prize.
exactly. So we are now heading up to B1, not floor 1, B1. Don't make
Thank you
the
for the
mistake
reminder.
of, yeah, tapping down there is disastrous. You lose like 10 seconds. We're going to meet up with Meryl again and beckon her over to the women's room because we are going to fight Mantis, Psycho Mantis, a fairly technical fight as far as the execution is considered, though not as demanding as it is on the highest difficulty extreme. Essentially, if you aim in first person, your vision gets taken over after a certain period of time by Mantis. And depending on difficulty, that is more or less. Like on extreme, I think it's like less than a second, but it's way less demanding on normal/hard if you're Japanese. Hard normal. I'm going to be very curious to see what their setups are because there are different ways to approach this fight.
I'm going safe.
Doing the couch setup, classic. The new classic. Dodge the Psycho Blast. And Nick's going to be standing in place and doing the earn strat. Proof strategy, in theory, is faster. We're going to be aiming at Psycho Mantis's legs. That's because his right leg is a weak point. It is essentially like hitting him in the head, but easier because his thigh is a bigger target than his head. Ideally, you have Mantis fly very quickly to Meryl, and you do this all non-lethal because if you do a certain amount of damage to him at a certain rate, the first Meryl possession is skipped. But we can't skip this one. We're gonna have to shoot Mantis quickly in the head with a stand up on our tippy toes by holding ZLR or just aiming normally. And then we're in the final phase. We just have to hit him a couple of times and we're done. Nick took the executive strat. He's in the chair, like you know, he's the commander, which is pretty neat.
Look at me. I'm the commander now.
I'm the
I'm a man of the
commander.
people. I'm a man of the people. I use couch rat.
Lounging on the couch.
Yep.
So we
No
are
airs
going
about me.
Time for the biggest boss of the game.
dogs.
Go to sleep. Take that, puppy.
No, Papa!
Oh man.
Oh God, Bumper's here.
The
No,
dog
Papa, don't go towards Meryl.
Yeah, I thought that was what mine was gonna do, but he was nice and said he. Boris, go away.
Yeah, the puppy can sometimes get in your way with aiming, and when you're trying to shoot, we're trying to shoot Meryl so she does not start a cutscene. And in the worst case scenario, you shoot her, you don't get to the door, and then she slaps you, causes causes damage, and then does the cutscene, and then you get up. So thankfully that didn't happen for either runner. So we are now going to backtrack, but we're not going to backtrack quite as much as in the original game. We're just going to backtrack back to the area where we met up with Meryl and she ran into the women's room. There is a PSG-1T, like in MGS2. Proof having a little bit of a dog issue.
It's not the only one.
And so did Nick.
No animals were harmed in the making of this video game.
They're just taking a nap. The tranquilizer won't harm them, supposedly. So we're heading back here, and we're going to pick up a nice, cool rifle that will be useful throughout the rest of the game. It's really for the best that we get this rifle compared to the other rifle, because we don't have to kill as many people, which is cool. Pick up some Pentasm. Pentasm is what allows us to steady our aim. So
You know, I think that might be the moral of this game. Not killing people is cool.
Yeah. Also, smoking cigarettes can be beneficial in jams, so that's another moral of this game. So, I don't know, we should talk about the morals of Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Also, big moral of this game, if you can do anime tricks, like, you should totally do them. Do not play things straight. Okay, so we're gonna fight Sniper Wolf for the first time. She's gonna show up again later and be even more annoying, but never mind that. Take a couple pills and go straight into your sights. This fight is pretty easy because all you're really going to be doing is going back and forth. The only time where things are even tricky at all is when she's moving. You can try to get a headshot while she's moving if you're, you know, an elite OG sniper, but there's no need to worry about it. And you try to time your roll precisely so that Snake's dialogue cancels the end animation. The end animation of the roll is slow, but if you're rolling through doors and certain thresholds, it's faster because you don't hit that whole animation. Okay, now we are captured. We're not going to save Meryl, I don't think. So
Sorry, Joe.
both of these players are going to submit as quickly as possible. You may call it cowardice. I call it logic. This is faster. We're saving, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, something like that, by not having to go through torture.
Now we get to see if Johnny took his allergy medication. He definitely didn't take his, like, Pepto-Bismol. That's for sure. We know that. Now we just have to see, like, his allergy medication.
I feel like they have to, like, shove various drugs into his food. Like, his ration is just, like, he has, like, one of those, you know, linear pill bottles where it's marked, like, Sunday through Saturday, and he's got all that in there, too. But, you know, we appreciate Johnny. He allows us to break the game. Though he doesn't make it easy on us, so I guess it's, you know, a give and take. As it always is in this game. So, they're trying to prevent him from sneezing by knocking. You can either knock at very precise times or just constantly knock. I generally advise people not to constantly knock because there is a chance that the timing on the dialogue could screw with you and then he'll sneeze. So, and then we're going to wait a set amount of time, it's like 15 seconds-ish, until he gets the squeeze.
Alright, my Johnny took his allergy meds.
Yeah, there's the squeeze.
Holding his butt in.
I love that they had to create a walk animation just for Johnny running to the toilet.
The only one.
I mean, I think every character in this game should have that animation.
I want a mod of this
thought.
game where
Everyone
Snake's run animation is that animation constantly.
That would be great. I would really appreciate that.
Question is, am I going for prison roll?
Oh, I didn't even know it was a question. Well, in any case, prison roll is a skip. I mean, it is the harder version, to be true. There is a safe version of prison skip that does not require you to do the roll, but it is slower. This is a very precise roll.
What the hell?
That involves knocking into Johnny and then rolling precisely into our gear. We'll see if both runners go for it.
Yes. Sorry.
Nice. Y'all are like
Same time.
in sync right now, RTA, which is pretty sick. So
Yeah, it was funny 'cause you said yes, and that was right when I got it. So I was like, okay.
It said yes for everyone involved. So I felt yes too. That roll is tough, folks. That is no joke. The hitbox on that gear is annoying. The angle is annoying. All about that is annoying. By picking up our gear like that, the game thinks we're still in prison. Like, we should not be doing this. The flag has not been set appropriately, which is going to allow us to skip a cutscene and a codec before the disc change. This canyon is different in Twin Snakes. There are guards here instead of turrets. So there's guards and a set of surveillance cameras. There's only one I can't recall, but it's no big deal. Assuming you're not doing dog tags, then that is one of the worst rooms of the game if you're picking up all the dog tags. I don't think anyone likes that room in all dog tags. It's terrible. Like on every difficulty.
The main thing with the difficulties is that room is slightly different on every difficulty, whether you're doing dog tags or not. So, like, if you do go through and learn the different difficulties, you have to learn that room 5 times.
Yeah, it's a really annoying change they made to the game. They're like, we're gonna put guards here in this stupidly open area, so like you have like barely any cover at all. And of course, guard vision increases as the difficulty increase. So on extreme, they notice you quite easily. So, but never mind extreme. We're playing on hard normal, but not very hard. Hard normal.
Very hard.
Very hard squared. You guys should have done a very hard squared race. But only the hard is squared, not the very. The very is on its own, on an island. Not Shadow Moses Island. Some other island.
You're forgetting to prep my change disk in the prison. So I have to be quick about it.
Yep, make sure to grab your discs in this case, because we are playing on emulator. We are virtually grabbing our discs. Disc change happens halfway through this run, roughly about. And we have quite the race for you folks. They are neck and neck RTA. That does not mean they are neck and neck IGT. Let's just dispel that notion. But they are pretty close. They are pretty close. Okay.
I've definitely been on the fortunate side of some IGT shenanigans for this game. When it comes to races.
Yeah,
See
we
if I
really...
can
We
do
really
this right.
won't know the results unless something really disastrous happens. If this pace matches, we won't know the results until the credits are finished. So this is the Tower A climb. and Snake does move a little bit faster. We are using our stun grenades and M9 to tranquilize or knock out guards. It is extraordinarily hard not to get hit here. It's basically an improbability. So we're just trying to limit it as much as possible by timing our stun throws as well as we can.
That's for me.
They are tough.
Shot from every single guard.
It really is. It is horrendous. They snipe better than Sniper Wolf with the FAMAS.
What a deal, Mass. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me.
Wait, follow me. Follow me. Wait.
Wait, stay there. Wait, no, follow me. Those guards could not follow me, and then they just shoot you, and then they're a nuisance. Because they can actually, yeah, like Plywood said, they've got really good accuracy, and they just really slow you down.
So we are now on the roof. You can actually do this descent without the rope, unlike the original game, but we will be doing the descent with the rope because the rope is faster. Even though the rope causes a cutscene, it's still faster to do it with the rope.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually done this without the rope.
It's a trip. Got to drop from the pipes, but you know, never mind that. Let's talk about this rope business. There is a way to make this very fast with a very specific set of jumps. It's just memorization to get the proper way. You'll see both of them land in a particular spot, and it's going to immediately drop them down. Because the game thinks you're both on top of the pipe and below, or on top of the girder and below the girder. So we see two different strats. Proof is going for PSG-1T shots. Nick is going for the faster but more risky and tricky SOCOM hits. Proof showed the old adage, slow and steady and tranquil wins the race. At least that part of the race. And now we are going down the tower, but not as much as in the original game. Thankfully, the original game, Snake basically goes to the bottom and says, I can't take this drop. This game, you really can't take this drop, so. And you'll see both of our runners rolling at the tops of stairs. There is also a way to save a tiny bit of time when you go up a set of stairs without a weapon equipped by mashing, I think it's the punch key, or not the punch key, the gunshot key, which is A on the GameCube controller, which allows you to move still accelerate faster on the first step. It's a very small thing, but there are a lot of stairs right here. It was discovered in MGS2, or realized. It was a thing for a very long time, but I don't think people really noticed it, if I remember the history correctly. But it's not super useful in MGS2. There's not a whole lot of stairs where you don't have a weapon equipped, but in this game, there are a lot of stairs, as you can see. It's not useful in Tower A climb, though, because you are just zooming the whole way. Snake has adrenaline in his system or something. Afraid for his life. And so, Proof and Nick are going up the ladder to fight arguably the worst boss fight in this game, which is the Hind D fight. It's worse on the lower difficulties, or I think this is by far the worst boss on hard normal. So the first phase really isn't that big of a deal. It's just positioning and timing and there's not a whole lot to see here, but phase 2 is where the rubber meets the road. Or I suppose in the case of a helicopter, the tarmac. And that's because this fight is quite random. Now, there is a way in phase 2 to essentially take it out all in the introductory part of the phase, but it is extremely hard to achieve, and basically, relatively speaking, impossible for an average play. So the missile lands, and we get some shots off on the hind as it zooms back over to the roof, and try to get as much damage as we can before the hind flies down below. Ideally, the hind just stays over the roof for as long as possible, and then the hind flies for an undetermined amount of time down below, maybe taking a whole lap around the roof, maybe coming up immediately afterwards, and try to get 2 shots on it, one as it flies up and then one as it flies back down. That is very key, otherwise you might end up doing additional cycles that you really don't want to do.
There's also a boss fight that's actually, from a speedrun perspective, not easier, but faster, I guess, as you go up the difficulties. Because as you go up the difficulties, the hind, it dips down for a lower period of time, so...
Yes, the hind is more aggressive on extreme, so that plays into your favor. I mean, there's still luck involved, but it's not quite as brutal. So like here we see Proof unfortunately didn't get that double, and he had to do another cycle of the hind, and the hind's like, haha, I'm gonna do a whole lap of the roof. And so we have yet another RTA lead change. Still really anyone's game. The gap between these two runners is, you know, RTA probably about 15-ish, 20-ish seconds. And that can be surmounted with several things happening in the next 15 minutes or so. So it really can go either way.
Especially if I get the Nick skip coming up.
Yes, the extremely important Nick skip. Cooking grenades to blow up the turrets on the walls. We do a similar strat in the original game, but the timing is different, of course. Of course, timing is different. We're in a completely different engine. You hear? If you do miss the grenade, it's okay. There is a backup strat where you roll at a specific time on the stairs, and you know, you might take damage, but it's okay. You get the acceleration of rolling down the stairs, and if you time it just right, the turrets will hit you and cancel the animation of you falling on your face, so that's pretty cool. So here's the Nick skip. It is completely pointless, is my understanding. It doesn't actually save any time whatsoever.
It doesn't save any time at all.
But it is cool looking, so...
When I found it, I was trying to skip the hind fight, and unfortunately, if you do that on this elevator before this point, then Snake just indefinitely runs into the elevator wall. He's just there forever.
It's a damn shame, I have to say. Everyone would agree that that is a damn shame. No one wants to fight the hind. I mean, I find the hind fun in the original game, though still challenging, but not quite as stupid as in Twin Snakes. Drop a C4 on these fools and they blow up immediately. So that's great. Okay, now we're gonna fight Wolf for the second time, and this fight is more difficult because there's more terrain, and Wolf can screw with you a lot more because of the terrain and the distance and all this. And this is where your shooting skills are really tested as far as getting shots on her while she's moving. We're trying to get headshots, folks. Okay, we're trying to get headshots.
Right behind. Lovely.
Try to limit the amount of time, or rather limit the amount of up and down movement that you make. So understanding her movement path is very key. And hopefully she does not love the trees too much. We're trying to make her fight us. And just stand on top of a package of ammo as it respawns constantly. That was a very clean fight for Nick. Let's see how proofs goes. No whammies, of course. Now, personally, I feel that proof is a little bit too zoomed in. I don't like being zoomed in quite that much. About the size of how Nick is zoomed in. It's like a middle distance. That way you can still easily track her, but it's okay as long as you know, again, how she moves. It really doesn't matter as long as you know how she moves. We're going to drop down into the blast furnace here, not take the other way. This is a nice intended skip added into Twin Snakes.
Sorry, my cat.
Oh. Cat interference. -2 points to the cat for interfering with this race.
He almost sent a very long, a nonsensical message in the general chat, but he did not press enter, so...
It's okay. I would have just interpreted that as frustration at the video game, so don't worry about it. We're doing the spinnies to take out these 3 guards on the elevator. If you watch the cutscene, 4 guards jump down here, but where did the 3rd one go? Where did the 3rd one go, Hideo Kojima? Where did the 3rd one go, Dennis? 4th one go, Dennis Dyack, huh? Where did that guy go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Snake killed him with his mind? Come on. It's ridiculous. Anyways, maybe we're just that speedrunnery that the guy just disappears. Very clean from proof. I believe that's going to save him a second-ish compared to Nick. So pulling out all the stops as we crawling back. Nick decides to punch a bird and gets punished for it.
That's where it's
Rightfully
going to come back to bite you, that karma.
Yeah.
Your Vulcan Raven fight. Just wait.
I actually managed to PPK every single bird.
That's a first for me watching that, so I guess wear that as a badge of honor. Okay, so now we're gonna go fight Vulcan Raven. It is a joke of a fight on hard normal because we're just gonna be using rations and just standing our ground. So Raven's just gonna pew 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 away, and we're just gonna stand there and shoot at a particular rate. End with the SOCOM. That is just for menuing and inventory purposes. I haven't been mentioning that because it's really nitty-gritty stuff, but depending on what weapon you end certain sequences on, that's going to affect your menuing. The other key thing about menuing in this game is that you want to be on previous, not unequip, previous on the options, because if you're not on previous, it is going to really ruin your ability to play this game quickly. Previous, folks. Not unequipped, previous. Okay. So we go through this mostly pointless area, shoot out a guy, pick up some ammo, and head on into the underground base. Now, the ideal thing to do is to call Otacon right at the start of underground base, Rex's lair, maintenance base, whatever. Now, this whole area is one continuous area, unlike in the original game where it's broken up by a couple of load zones. So we could just call Otacon and be like, hey, tell me everything we need to know, and he'll just tell us, in the original game, if you just tried calling him over and over again, he'll be like, I need more time, and you have to, get into the next zone. So there's no reason to do that in the original game, but in this game, doing that all in one fell swoop saves some time. Time that shot so that guard falls over the rail. We do not want him in the way because he just gets in the way. Hopefully, we get lucky with our third-person shots on that guard, as Nick did, and that guard falls out of the way. And now we are completely unencumbered by dudes in the Dudio game, so that helps a lot. But the guards can fall in various ways. Sometimes they spin back around, which is no good. Nice roll from DrPrufr0ck, knocking the guard into the wall. He is going for first-person shots on that guard, and he is similarly going to fall over the rail, so they are both out of the way. Meanwhile, Nick cooking a grenade to kill a rat. That might sound excessive. I assure you folks, it is not. It is the right approach, though you could also shoot him with the gun.
Yeah, correction. One animal was harmed in the making of this video game.
Damn right.
Yeah. It's the one that we don't really care about, so.
Ooh, close one.
Very key thing not to fall to your death, which neither player did yet. Proof going for the gun strat, and it looks like the PAL key dropped in a better spot. The PAL key drops randomly. When enemies drop items in this game, they can go in a random direction, and sometimes that is a good random direction, and sometimes that is a bad random direction. It just depends. Just like all dog tags. Thankfully, we're not doing an all dog tags race, though that would be interesting. I would have to unlock an old part of my brain, a different older part of my brain, talking about that run. But here we are. We are now doing the set laps to finish this game off. Thankfully, unlike in the original game, we have a way to stay in this room and complete our chore of cooling and heating the PAL card. Start room temperature, then go to freezing, and then going into hot. So we shoot the pipes over there and walk back to the computer room, and we just go on our merry way. And everyone liked that change. No one. I don't think I've met a single person who was like, I don't like this option. It's not like you can't do it the original.
Blast furnace.
I really want to waste 10 minutes doing this business.
Particularly if you're playing the PC version of Metal Gear Solid 1, the original, half of the any percent run. Yeah, at least half of that run is just the backtrack for the keys. It's so dull.
We've broken practically every other part of the game, most parts of the game, but there is this one part that takes up, a significant portion of the run that is just not broken. So, of course, the side effect of doing this whole thing is that we have these really dramatic calls, not on the elevator as it was intended, but just after I fell and broke my ankles, or I'm just walking down this catwalk. So, there is that, but we don't care about dramatic tension. This race has enough of it anyways. And frankly, we don't care about Naomi's story in the context of the game because it's just slow. I don't want to listen to it. Granted, I don't think we're ever going to find a way to skip these codecs because that would involve breaking the flags, and I'm not sure how you break the flags and also do the PAL card sequence without just entirely skipping the sequence and going straight to final boss or something. But be that as it may, this is just speculation on my part. Let us go into the Metal Gear Rex fight. That's Rex with all caps. know how to spell the man's name, all caps.
Metal Gear Rex.
Metal Gear Rex. Yeah. My name's Rex. Rex is not that big of a deal. But what is a cool thing is holding the codec combination, which is start and A if you're on the GameCube, to immediately call Otacon and be like, dude, I'm about to get gassed. Help me out here. And that saves a significant amount of time because the time where the door's closing and all that is counted. So we get out of the room mighty quick. Fun fact, when we were not as smart about this game, we thought we couldn't pre-buffer that, so we'd always try to just mash super hard. Thankfully, we've learned better. So Rex is really not that dangerous. You just stand in a particular spot and just aim at the radome. It's the radar dome. You can also like slowly move forward. It really doesn't matter because we have to wait for the invincibility frames of the radome anyways. Now we wait for Frank Yeager to give us his soliloquy. Phase 2 involves a very important skill, and that skill is not moving and not hitting anything besides liquid in the cockpit. Okay, folks, so you don't want to move. Moving's bad, and you don't want to hit other things. That's bad too. You want to just stand your ground and hit liquid. It's kind of like Raven. We're just standing our ground, timing our shots, which does change based off of the stance of Rex. It's okay. It's okay. So that's Rex for Nick. Now Nick is going into the fist fight with Liquid Snake, the half-naked, all-anime fist fight. Of course, this is not necessarily a fist fight in our case. This is more like a roll fight. Rolling does a lot of damage potentially against Liquid. There's different setups for this fight, but a nice little clean setup is this very cool roll that you initiate the fight with. And then we're trying to get Liquid stuck in this corner and get him in. Get a certain angle on our roll that we do crazy damage like Nick just did, which is the lottery roll. And that is a beautiful execution on that lottery roll. So now we punch Liquid on a repetition, being careful not to kick him to the ground at a 219. A solid time if there ever was one. Of course, it can be faster. Don't get me wrong, folks. It can be faster, but that is a fantastic time for all intents and purposes. Sadly, Proof did not get the roll.
Got a little baby one.
Yeah, not the glorious screaming roll, but a solid roll nevertheless, and doing a nice little punch combo until you get into the final phase of Liquid where we can't be doing that anymore.
Got him to 2.5. Did a little too much damage.
So we'll see how much time Proof loses compared to Nick. A moment here as Nick initiates his escape sequence and shoots the barrels to get out. So 14-ish seconds lost by Proof there. Sadly, I think that unless Nick has some
really bad mistakes,
serious mistakes, and
I pretty much got to die at this point.
The escape sequence is pretty straightforward, I'd say. You shoot the barrels, shoot the dudes. There shouldn't be IGT wackiness with this gap, but hey, you never know. Drive on through the barricade. and head on into the final fight with Liquid Snake. As if we'd needed another one. We're going to be shooting him with this mounted Jeep gun, which is like a large machine gun, and he's going to take multiple shots to the chest. As you do, you sweep in at a particular time to get the shots in on him. He bounces into the Jeep. You shoot him. Rinse, repeat. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, poor Nick's getting the bumper card, Liquid, where he's just like, I'm gonna keep on bumping you even though we're in this next phase because, shot timing. And then shoot him right where it hurts in his tattoo. That's where a man's pride is. I think. I don't know. I don't have any tattoos. And a RTA clear for Nick on that flash. Very nice. We'll see what the
for Jonathan. Time is when the when the next bit of information appears on the screen. So it should be in 3, 2, 1, time. And then luckily, because we're on emulators, we can speed up the credit sequence.
nice thing is you can make the little statistic stuff go faster in this game. In the original game, it happened at a static rate, but if you press start, it skips it, and that's like the final bit of IGT before the credits. So, and emulator just speeding through the credits so we don't have to wait through it, and we hear this
Time for me.
song in super speed, which I find quite amusing. It feels very danceable, like an Irish jig. And then we listen to the guy we gave him a nap earlier in the game. He tried to torture us. We said no thanks. And now he's talking to someone on the phone. 5308 for Nick with 10 alerts, 31 kills, and 2 rations used. Konami, why can't we submit our clear codes? Let us submit our clear codes. We'll see what Proof got. What time do you think you got, Proof?
Well, I'm running splits, so I know what time. But yeah, I'll save it for this.
All right. Well, I'm gonna guess then, because that's more fun. So I'm gonna say you got a 53-40.
Okay.
I can say that mine is a 5-second PB.
Oh, fantastic! Well,
And also
look at
mine
that, folks.
is a PB by quite a bit, as not more than that, but yeah. So double PB. Let's go.
Nice.
Woo!
Very nice. The progression, even on the Pixel Perfect events TM. Copyright.
It on a
All
DS4
rights reserved.
last minute.
DualShock 4.
I'm usually a
Dolphin
DualSense guy. I used to run this on DS4 quite a bit, so it's not that big of a change for my brain, but yeah.
I don't know. Calling it a DualSense, I feel like we should just call it what it is. DualShock 5. Sony be damned. Oh man, it's like a pink rose one.
Oh yeah, I've got the nice bright pink one.
That's fantastic. I have a purple one. Okay. Well, what time do you think he got, Nick?
I'll slow it down to give you time to guess.
I would think something like a 53-30 something. She went that far behind.
3x. Okay.
I'll go 33. 53, 33.
Okay, so I went 40 and you went 33. So we'll see who was closer.
Your guesses in mind. I'm speeding it back up.
Yes. It's always a little bit of an art, not a science, guessing IGT in the Metal Gear
Really close,
games.
Plywood.
Oh man, I was so close.
Oh, you were 1 second off.
Well, by Price is Right rules, I killed it. So
Well, good race. Well done.
Yeah, GG.
yeah, fantastic race of hard normal. You know, as is the tradition, hard normal races. Very fun, and I gotta say, it's always a pleasure to see a Twin Snakes race and to commentate one. And with these two fine gentlemen, even better. It's the total package, folks. It's the total package. If you want to learn this game, you should totally check it out, and check out Metal Gear speedrunning in general. Very cool set of games, particularly this one, nice and fast. Y'all have anything you want to say or add?
I'll let Proof go first.
Yeah. No, this was fun. Appreciate y'all having me. I will definitely not make the mistake again of listing open availability for a European speedrun event because yeah, this was, or maybe I should just do it again because I'll get PBs. But yeah, thanks again for having me. Really enjoyed running. GG to Nick. If anybody wants to catch me on my stream, I'll be playing something later today. I don't know what. It won't be this. But I'm gonna take a nap and stream later. Follow me at twitch.tv/DrPrufr0ck. The O's a 0. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Nick?
If you want to, I'm now taking a long break from Twin Snakes. After doing this at GDQ, I'd been playing Twin Snakes for like 2 or 3 months solid, so I'm done with this for a while. But yeah, you can check me out, twitch.tv/NickRPGreen. Same on YouTube, Twitter, the rest. Thank you to Proof and Plywood for being here and helping us out with this run. Thank you to everyone who's volunteered and is helping out with Pixel Perfect. The event's been going fantastic. We've still got more runs to go, so please stick around. I'm not going to make any big announcements about any babies this time, so you don't have to worry about that. But I won't actually be here.
Twins.
It's not.
Like
it's not twins. It's not twins. It's not twins. And we're not naming him Dave. Oh, actually, at GDQ we announced we were having a baby. I can now announce that it is going to be a boy. I think I'd made that public already, but it is going to be a boy. So there you go. You get one bit. You get one tidbit from me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not going to be around for the end of the event. So please, give all of your thanks to Lighty, Jasper, and the other volunteers at the end. So thank you all very much for tuning in. With that, I think we'll take it back to Jonathan.
All right. Congratulations, guys, both players for the PB. Yeah, unfortunately, in a race, there has to be one winner. So in this case, congratulations, Nick, for winning the race. And congratulations for the baby boy as well. But yeah, thanks for both players for giving us a great show. Yeah, unfortunately, I seem to stop Proof's timer a bit late there, so I apologize for that. But yeah, that was a close race, like less than 1 minute gap. Even like halfway around, like 30 minutes, it was literally like neck and neck, like almost the same screen, you guys. So yeah, it's very close. So thanks again. Yeah, we will now have another short intermission, but don't go too far because right after the intermission, we will have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge Arcade OK difficulty run. That was a bit hard to pronounce all of them. But yeah, see you soon.